We're going live. How is everyone doing right now as we speak? I am joined with the all-powerful Charbok the God and the legendary and beautiful voiced Fiyah Liger. How you guys doing?
What's up? Doing good, Devil, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't get much sleep. I was a little anxious to start this show. But, you know, that comes with the territory, you know?
Yeah, definitely does.
But I'm happy now. I'm hyped now. I'm up. I'm ready. So how are you guys doing in the chat? Oh, everyone's doing good.
Yeah, great. Excitement so far. Oh, audio's a little low. Let me fix that, my dude.
Mike, I got you right now, dude.
No. This should fix it. Let's get it fixed now before anything crazy happens.
Right. So, guys, this is the pre-show before the tournament. We're going to talk about a couple things, a few discussions here. I think it's going to be pretty fun for you guys if you guys stick around. The show will be starting in less than an hour. The actual match rose. So, what do you guys want to talk about first?
So, actually, I wanted to bring this up first because a lot of people probably don't even know. Devil, how did this even become an idea? Like, what spawned the idea for the whole 3v3 concept?
I was not expecting this question, but I'll start. So, a long time ago, I'm going to say pretty much during the Kumite days when I was like doing those open lobbies and people were challenging other players, I've always wanted to run a tournament in some way, shape, or form. And it was just hard for me to kind of like think of a name and get the motivation and all that. Mainly because I'm not trying to diss anyone, but I just feel like a lot of tournaments are the same, you know? And it's not, like I said, no disrespect. It's good to have these tournaments. I love these tournaments and I love watching them. But I wanted something different, something that would be my tournament, my event. And this was probably like in February when I finally decided that I want to do a 3v3. And then Evo came back and I'm like, well, I better just wait to see how Evo goes. And then all these tournaments popping up and I'm like, cool. I don't have any way, there's no way I could fit my tournament into these tournaments and not have it be stagnant or stale, you know? So, but then one day I was just like, you know what, screw that. I'm going to go ahead and just announce this idea and see where it goes. And the moment I announced it on Twitter and Facebook, it went kind of crazy. Everyone was so down for this concept of a 3v3 tag team tournament. And my friends too, like you guys stepped up. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to make this. I want to make that. I want to commentate. I want to play this. I want to do that. It was like overwhelming how much support I got from all my friends and fans and supporters and whatnot. It was pretty much a thing I've been thinking about for like about 6 to 9 months. And I'm glad it's come to fruition after all this work we put into it together. You guys don't even know the half of it, how much work we put into it.
Yeah,
bro.
No clue.
The sleepless nights bro, we were like up every night.
Like 5 a.m.
Bro, talking about like plans and how we're gonna do this and writing music. Oh my god.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. So that's pretty much, you know, what's going on here. Yeah.
How did you get involved, Frank?
Devil's like, do you want to do commentary? And I was like, yeah. I've always been like, I don't know, like I always like doing commentary. I did commentary for a couple of events, like offline majors and stuff like that, and I've done them for online tournaments and stuff like that. And I think like Devil just knew right away to ask me to do commentary. He knew I would do it. I did pretty much like we're always brainstorming with each other.
Always.
Like if you guys don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and call Devil out right now, but a lot of his emotes are all like my ideas, but a lot of my emotes are his ideas. So like a lot of the time we would just be like, I need an idea for an emote. Like I'd be like, oh, why don't you just do this? You know, like we're always brainstorming and making up stupid things together, like concepts and stuff like that. Like we came up, the whole name is like all like some of the stuff in the name was actually from Gene, one of our friends. And then some of the stuff is from me. The 3v3 fantasy tag battle was mine, like my idea. Like there's everything that you see in here is like just a product of us doing our own thing in the Discord.
Hanging out, yeah, bullshitting.
Why don't you do this? And then somebody will just correct them, like, no, why don't you do this instead? And it's a lot of like arguing.
Brainstorming.
A lot of it is like, just
Making fun of each
brainstorming
other.
and trying to like one up each other with things. Like, why don't you just do this instead? So like, yeah, I think I'm always like not too far away when it comes from like one of these things.
Definitely.
'Cause I love this community and I love like doing stuff like this with Devil, so I wanted to be involved with that project for sure, and I'm really happy I get to commentate with Liger and everything. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah. So like one thing that was funny that you mentioned, like when I was thinking of the title name, that was the hardest part for me because everyone was just like, not everyone, a few of my friends were like, just call it the tag battle, the KI tag battle. I'm like, I want it to be ridiculous. This game is ridiculous.
The idea was like we wanted to be like obnoxious and like,
in your face.
One of the things that we're not afraid to shoot each other's ideas down and just be like, no, like I want it to be like this. Like, no, that's not cool because like I want this to happen instead. Like, so we want to make a name. Really, it's like a 3v3 fantasy tag battle, but the whole name is the DMC Killer Instinct 3v3 Fantasy Tag Battle Supreme Ultimate Ultra Edition. It's supposed to be extra. It's supposed to be like, like plus alpha type long ass name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Arcade Edition, Championship Collector's Mode. Yeah,
it's supposed to be like super extra, and I think it's cool too because it kind of fits in. If you think about it, it kind of fits in with like KI. It has that like super extra like 90s cheese like.
I love that
metal like it's type of like speed of metal Halloween character type attitude to it, so I think it fits. The name fits perfect.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you guys want to talk about, the brackets now or what, the matchups?
First, I think we should go over the rules because I don't think a lot of people are quite aware of how this is going to run.
Oh yeah.
So I think Frank, go ahead and touch up on that just so people get acclimated to what we're doing.
Yeah, guys, so we have 8 teams and each team has 3 players, and obviously there's going to be one team that is the last team standing, so they're going to go their way through an 8-team bracket. What's going to happen is the players are going to come into contact with each other in the bracket. They're going to play each other and they will blindly choose who to go first. Now the person who is going to be in charge of choosing that is going to be that team's captain. They're going to choose who sends out first. They could send themselves out first, one of their teammates, whatever. But they're the ones who get to call that shot. And it's going to be a secret. So nobody's going to know except for that team. That's going to prevent kind of like counter-picking type things that are going to happen at the beginning. Like, it's going to be totally blind to throw out the first player. Those 2 players are going to play a 1-2 set. And in that 1-2 set, obviously, one of those players is going to come out victorious. They're going to have to play the next person from the other team, right? But the kick to it, and we think that this aspect is going to make it really interesting, is that it's like survival style. So, like, that person is going to have one, like, in a situation where a person is like 2-1, right? And that person remains, but they lost one game. They lost one of those games, so like they have to play the person from the other team and with 1 life, and they can't switch either. You can only switch on a loss, but you can't switch when like the next person comes in. So we think that that's going to be interesting because you're going to have to like stay with that character, even if it's like, oh man, like this is really not advantageous for me. Like you're still going to have to deal with that. It's also single elimination, so the stakes are going to be like, it's going to be very tense. The other thing that makes it tense is winner takes all.
Yeah.
Winner takes all. So like, that team is going to get money. There is no second place. There is no third place. It's just you lose. You get nothing. So, I mean, a lot of these matches are going to be tense. Like, I mean, if you have 1 life, you gotta fight an opponent with a fresh 2 lives, man. Like,
that's scary.
That's 2 characters.
You have pressure on you because you have a team. That's not just like your own tournament life. You're playing with your teammates' tournament lives too. So that's a ton of pressure to put on somebody. And the other thing that I should reiterate for you guys is that like it's survival style during the match, like when you're playing each other. But once you defeat that team and move on throughout the bracket, you do get your lives refreshed. If any of you guys were curious about that.
Yeah.
So everybody gets their 2 lives back on the team.
Yeah, that makes it fair. So once you get to the next set of the bracket, everybody resets back to 2, and we start fresh. New matchups, new chaos. That's what I'm pretty much hoping for.
The other thing that's important to know for you guys in the chat and for the team captains, we've said it a bunch of times, but we're going to say it again. There are designated stages. That's like a very important aspect of this tournament. We wanted to cycle some stages that are good online, but we wanted to like for example, Devil's Landing is banned because it's a super common stage.
It sucks.
Yeah. So we wanted to keep the stages to where they're appropriate for online play, but we also wanted to like rotate it to keep it from getting dry.
Yeah, bright, also bright. Try not to get too muddy.
Yeah.
I posted them in chat just now, just so people are aware. We have Aghanos, Stage, TJ, Maya, and Jago. That was pretty much the consensus we came down to. Least likely to have any issues lag-wise or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Make it simple.
I think that's it for the rules. I think I covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you guys are having trouble, go ahead and feel free to ask questions in chat. I'll be kind of monitoring, helping out there. But I think we should get to the next topic, which is team captains. And this question's for you, Devil. How did you come up with your decision for the captains?
Well, this one was actually not too hard. I kind of was biased on who I picked, I'm not going to lie. But I also wanted to represent the players who've been performing extremely well in the online tournaments, such as Chronicle and, Calypso and whatnot. Sonic Dolphin, not only does he perform well offline, but he did really well online. Aphex won a tournament as well. So I picked and see, the thing is, I'm going to be honest with you. For the Chronicle, it was between him and Sleep, because obviously Sleep's a legendary player. But the Chronicle has been showing out, and people have not been giving any recognition to him, I feel like, or making excuses as to why they lost to him. And I'm tired of that shit. And I wanted Chronicle to be out here and show the world that he's a team captain for a reason. He's a godlike player. He's just won a tournament not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to be the perfect pick for that. Like, players like him that were playing online and performing well, I wanted them to be part of this, For sure.
And since we're on the topic of captains, we should probably run that first original trailer.
Oh, yeah, you guys.
Everybody can be acclimated to who our captains were. So
let me go ahead and show you guys the team captains real quick, in case you're somehow unaware of this entire event and just didn't know.
Yeah,
right,
check this out.
Check this out, guys. Here we go.
Ready. Nikki. Base. Lord Calypso. Aphex. The Chronicle. Wiz. Sonic Dolphin. Traveler.
The DMC Killer Instinct 3v3 Fantasy Tag Battle Supreme Ultimate Ultra Edition.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go through all the captains right now, in order of appearance. So Nikki, everybody knows Nikki. He's now the runner of the KI Ultra Tech University. Content creator now full time for KI. Obviously the best full guard player. Always been a top 5 player, especially the last year and a half or so. Been a threat since 2016. What are you guys' thoughts on Nikki? We've seen him quite a bit.
It's horrifying as a player. Super scary. He plays 2 different characters that are like really scary. I mean, I'm sure that he has other characters up his sleeve, but the 2 that obviously are the obvious ones is Fulgore and Mira. And both of those characters are horrifying. They're capable of like extreme pressure and stuff like that. And I mean, like, he's proven himself offline like so many times. and Nikki was working like 50 hours a week, like, and beating the shit out of people in this game. So it's kind of scary that now he is like full time. That's kind of scary if you think about like a player who is already doing all this crazy work. Like, definitely one of the best players playing this game right now and throughout season 3 also. Now he's full time, man. Good luck to everybody else, I guess.
I mean, it's gonna be rough for anybody else that's coming up against him. First round, it's gonna be rough. Obviously, Nikki has been pretty much pushing Fulberg to the limit for a long time now. I have the utmost respect for him as a player, but now as a teacher too, moving on to that next phase, it's kind of fun to watch. Watch his growth in the community from just a player to now a leader and running his own tournaments now. Do you have any thoughts on Nikki, Devil? Or you might have passed up. Anyway.
No, yeah, I think the guy's an outstanding player. You know, he's strong, he's energetic, he's in your face. That's kind of how I play, but he's got a little bit. He's got extra. Something about him is, I don't know. He's like on another level in terms of how he sees the game and plays the game into the breaker game, which is interesting. I don't think anyone replicates him in terms of the breaker game, so it's gonna be interesting to watch him play.
So on to the next captain. In order of appearance in the video, we have Base.
Oh yeah.
Infamous final player. Literally born in the corner was his catchphrase. Anytime he put you in the corner, it was almost guaranteed death. Base, multiple major wins, multiple online, just great placements, consistently top 8, like for a long time. What are your thoughts on Base, Frank?
That's another horrifying player. That's also like pound for pound, definitely. If you're talking about all-time KI players, and there are a lot of amazing KI players, he's like top 3, top 5 of all time. Like, he's ridiculous. He plays multiple characters. You know, he plays Spinal, he plays Cinder, he plays Jago, plays Mira, like
Jago.
Man, he plays Shadow Jago. Like, he has like this scary plethora of characters. I think everybody who plays this game knows who he is, and there's people who don't play this game who knows who he is. So like, I think that he's one of the reasons. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. He's one of the main examples of why we felt like it was gonna be best to make it so that you couldn't switch on a loss, like when you're moving on to your next opponent. He was one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
Because this dude has an answer for everything in terms of characters. Like, there's a lot of people who just like sort of grin and bear it with their character, like, well, I'll just play this matchup. Like, he's more the kind of player who's just gonna pick whoever he feels like he should. I forgot also that he plays Eagle.
Oh yeah.
That character is super annoying, and I think is very hard to get practice against. So like, he's a force to be reckoned with in this tournament because of his character variety and tournament experience. Like, his nerves, he's got nerves of steel. Like, horrifying.
That Devil.
Yeah, Base is another godlike player. Without him, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be as good of a player as I am today. He's so good. I mean, I can say that for every player that I played with, right? But Base is generally the foundation that started me off as a competitive player. I don't think I'd ever be anywhere near as good as I am if it wasn't for him. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that.
Base is gatekeeped me at quite a few tournaments, so I'm a little salty. It is what it is, though.
Fuck that guy.
Moving on. Next up, I know you're gonna have some stories about this fellow, young Damien, aka Calypso.
Huh.
The best Sadira,
Frank.
hands down. Frank is gonna have quite a story for you guys about this.
That's his son, by the way.
Go ahead, spit some facts.
I've always liked Damien, obviously. Like, I've known Damien, I think, since he was probably like 17. I think Damien's like 21 or 22 now, and it's like, it's so funny just because like you have to think about it like this, guys. All right, he's a Sadira player. Like, his introduction to fighting games was playing Sadira, so you can only imagine what type of habits that like has a person doing. And if you can't imagine them, I'll outline it for you specifically. Jumping, mashing, guest breaking, doing all sorts of nutty things, and because of that, he's one of the more frustrating players for me to play against because he's extremely unruly. And in so many different times, like I would play Damien, dude, he just drives me nuts, bro. I don't know what else to tell you. Like he drives me insane. Like he plays like a lunatic, but I can't even begin to tell you. I think I know better than any person how far he's come as a player. Is crazy. Like I've played him in MK. I've played him in Marvel Infinite. I've played him in Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4. I've played him in any game that you could imagine. Like we've played all these games together, and the way that he thinks about games has totally changed. The way that he's grown as a player fundamentally is insane. Like I turn on Twitter and I see Damien on high fights. I'm like, what is happening right now? What the fuck happened? Like he's in high fights, like mixing somebody to death with instinct. It's like, he's come such a long way. And I mean, like even before that, he won a major.
True.
With Sadira, and Sadira sucks. And she's the kind of character that, like, she doesn't suck, but she KI sucks. You know what I mean? Like, she, by default, is like a bottom 3 character, but you wouldn't be able to tell that by watching Damien. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like, I'm actually really proud of Damien, I have to say, because he Frank's a very aggressive teacher. He's not shy to tell you how dumb you look, how silly you look, how bad you are when he's training you. He'll tell you about yourself pretty quickly. And Damien had to pretty much hold that shit and absorb all the knowledge Frank gave him in terms of like his fundamentals and growing as a player, like, overall. Because like Frank said, even though he was like won a tournament with Sadira, there was a lot of things that he was doing wrong, I feel, that kind of helped him or held him back. And Frank and him played a ton of games, had many arguments, and Damien's dangerous now. He's beyond dangerous. He's like a Omega level threat, That's why I decided to make him a captain.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped up, especially the last couple months. He's been just rocking the rules online.
Frank is Charbok, by the way.
Alright, so on to the next. We're at the one and only Aphex, UIU Aphex. Grand Toadmaster, Rash player, consistently roaming around top 8. Definitely a threat, especially with that character. What do you guys think about Aphex?
Aphex, man. You want to talk about players that have come far, dude? Fucking Aphex, man. He's come so far. Like,
yeah,
he's so strong. Like, I used to play him, and he used to just be like a Rash player. Like, whatever you can imagine as a stereotypical Rash player, that was Aphex. Like, I used to play him in long sets and beat him like really bad, and then he'd be like, "GG's, man," and I'd be like, "GG, stop holding up." After every set, "GG, stop holding up. GG, stop holding up." We used to tell him all the time, "Stop holding up. Oh, you're doing good. What can I do to improve? Stop holding up." And he still holds up to this day, but he does it much better. He does it in better spots. But all jokes aside, for real, like, I've seen him, like, I think when I realized he was ridiculous was when I saw him in, like, he's made top 8s, but when he made like top 8 at CEO, I was like, this dude is a monster. I don't think that there's any player that plays Rash that fleshes out why that character is so scary than Aphex. Like, that character is horrifying, and Aphex is even more horrifying as a player. Like, he really makes that character, like, if somebody's like, why is Rash dumb? I'm just gonna pull up a video of Aphex and be like, look at how look what this character could do. Look at this character's instinct. Look at this character's normals. Like, look at how this character is, and he's super style. He does it all in style. He beats your ass in style. Yeah. So that's a super strong player too.
Yeah, I actually had the honor of playing Aphex when he back in 2016 or 17, and we were both fighting for top 8, and he beat me. It was 3-2, and you know what? I wasn't even mad. I was like, wow, man. I even said to his face, dude, I'm real proud of you. You came a long way. You're amazing, and he's just been growing stronger and stronger, like Frank said, every year.
He's a monster.
He won a tournament this year, actually, online, which is, I think he won 2, actually. I'm not mistaken, but he's just a monster now. He's dangerous. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. So next up, one of the most just vicious players that I've played against recently, the Chronicle. I actually played him in a set a couple weeks ago. He beat me like 30-1, which means either I'm washed up or he's just that good. So, anyways, he's been pretty much getting top 3 every tournament he's touched in the last couple months online. The best Arya player, period, in my opinion.
We're talking about Chronicle Rave.
We're on Chronicle right now.
Okay, yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on Chron, Frank?
He's all right. No, Chronicle is like horrifying. Like I mean, like you have to think like he's a player who was trained by Sleep. That in itself, like not only is Sleep a great player, but he's an amazing teacher. Like
Yeah.
Chronicle is out of control. Like he plays Shadow Jago, right? Which I think really was of his own volition. Like I don't think that anybody taught him how to play Shadow Jago. His Shadow Jago was already pretty scary. But what makes him even more horrifying is, dude, like his Arya is horrifying. You want to talk about cheap characters on a strong player? Chronicle with Arya, horrifying. Like mix-ups are insane.
Ugh.
Like he's just
man.
another player. He's just literally another player who he's come so far. I know I keep saying that, but it's the truth, man. It's just a lot of these players. I just remember them being extremely average players, and now he's super out of control. He's super ridiculous. And you know what, though? I will say this. He didn't come out of nowhere. He's been here grinding for a long time, and he was very strong for a long time.
Yeah.
Before anybody started giving him credit, and I will always say that he's one of the KI players that doesn't get enough credit, so... I'm super excited to see him, and his team is horrifying too. So which we'll get into that later. But I mean, yeah, definitely one of my favorites for this event.
Double.
Yeah, Chronicle's underrated, or he was for a while. He's starting to prove himself more and more each month with these tournaments, and I'm not afraid to say that I think he has the potential of OCVing any team he plays. He's that good. Yeah, he's amazing. I played him yesterday.
I'm not arguing with you on that.
I played him actually this morning. I played him this morning a little bit. Yeah, dude, on his stream, and I know he won like 15 games. I won like 8 or 9. But each game, I was like, you could ask Fiyah, like I was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I was getting. I've never played an Arya that put me in that like mental like. I don't get tilted. I'm pretty cool and calm, you know. I like to talk shit. But I was pissed off. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what do I do? Like, he just had me in such a deadly mix. Can't wait to see him play today.
Alright. Now we have a fan favorite up next. Mr. Wheels. Character specialist. I mean, not specialist. He has quite an array of characters in his arsenal. One of the best players just all around. Consistently always got close to the end but never quite finished, but lately this week he's actually won every tournament he's run into. Thoughts on Wheels?
He literally won a tournament last night. Last night we were in the Discord and I was watching him win a tournament. Like the thing about Wheels is that he's always been an amazingly strong player, and if it's one weakness that I think that he's always had is just he loses at the character slings. Like, I've talked to him about this a bunch of times. I'm like, listen, man, like, I know that you're bummed out. Like, he just go totally Marvin's room on Twitter because he lost, and now he's all emo, you know? But I used to tell him, like, you know what, man? Like, I just think that you're losing at the character select. You're not setting yourself up for success. I think that you should add Fulgore. I've always told him that he should play Tusk. I've always keep telling him you should stay with Tusk. He plays Orchid. He plays Saberwolf. He plays Gargos. He has like the best Gargos. He has the best Tusk. He has one of the best Saberwolves. Right now, I think he has the best Orchid.
Yeah.
I think he has at least one of the best Orchids. Like,
yeah.
His Tusk is outrageous. His Gargos outrageous.
It's fundamentals,
and now he's
dude.
playing Fulgore, and I told him, I'm like, listen, man, you need to like stay with Fulgore and just play him for a couple tournaments, because I think he's like a missing piece to your puzzle. I watched this dude play a Wolfmare against Flash and win. I watched him play against Chronicle the other day, and he was using Tusk, and he beat Chronicle with Tusk. And then he finished off Grand Finals against Aphex with Fulgore. Like, this guy just has, like, he has a real scary arsenal of characters, and he's making those good decisions with the character select now, and it's just like he's a monster too. Like he's scary. He's got a ton of characters, and he's a problem, serious problem.
Starting to finally finish up the plates, Devil.
Oh yeah, Dayton J is like a man of many skills. I feel like at first impression you kind of get a look at him and nothing personal, but you kind of don't understand how good he is, like until you play him. And I'm not trying to make.
I have a story about that. I'll add on to after.
Yeah, obviously Dayton is a disabled player, but when you play him, when I first met him and I first started watching him play, I didn't know that, and that's awesome. He is. I've never seen a man with such execution with normal hands. Like the dude's out here, you know what I mean? The dude is.
When he sauced me up at KI Cup,
bro.
Fundamentals, footsie base, it made no sense. But
yeah, his neutral, his backdashing, everything.
Yo, let me tell you this story really quick. So I was at Combo Breaker, and Dane's dad was like, oh, I want to go whatever, do something like, but I need somebody to hang out with Dayton. So I was like, I'll take him. So I took his wheelchair, and we were I was pushing him around, and he was like, I want to go play some casuals over here. So we were like, yo, he's like, Dayton's like, I got next. He pulls up. This guy was playing one character the whole time in casuals, and Dayton pulls up. This is before his name was Wheels. It was just Dayton J. And he pulls up and he starts playing on the setup. This guy picks another character. So he's sandbagging because he sees that Dayton's in a wheelchair. There's no question that that's exactly why he started sandbagging. This guy played a Dayton's Orchid for I think 2 games, and he just immediately went back to character select. He was like, I would just better start picking my shit. You know what I mean? So we sit down, and I'm watching him play. I'm watching him sauce this kid supreme. And the kid is like, wow, I've never seen these grenade setups. The only person I've ever seen do these grenade setups was Dayton J. Yeah. And I was just savoring the 3 seconds right before Dayton's like, I am Dayton J. The look on this guy's face was like, you're Dayton J, dude? And he was like, yeah. And the guy was like, what the fuck? The guy really did look at him and just didn't pick his main. He was sandbagging. He thought it was time to sandbag, and it was the worst time to sandbag. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That is so
Super
sick.
Hilarious. Super hilarious.
Alright, we gotta keep it rolling. Alright, so next person on deck is Sonic Dolphin, who in the past 2 years has definitely made himself as the best Arbiter player and possibly can move. Showing up online quite a bit recently. I think he won. Yeah, he beat Chronicle in a crazy set. But also he's played well offline at the Combo Breakers 2018-2019. So what's your thoughts on Sonic?
That's another player who just
showed up.
It's just funny because the players now who are the captains and the players now who are the strongest players in the game, there was a time period even during season 3 where they were kind of just throwaway players. I'm not gonna mince words about it. Sonic Dolphin, my memory of him was that he was just oh, he's just another Glacius player. He's just one of those Glacius players. They all kind of play they're around the same skill level type thing. Then he picks up Kim, and then I knew that there was a slew of Kim Woos. I'm like, okay, there's a couple of Kims, and there's whatever. But then all of a sudden, I wasn't playing the game, but I remember people talking about him yo, Sonic Dolphin is pretty nasty, and I'm like, he is? They're like, yeah, he's really good. So I remember sitting down at my friend's house and watching Combo Breaker and watching this kid body everybody. I'm like, yo, Sonic Dolphin's in top 8 for Combo Breaker. I cannot believe it. And his Kim Woo is nasty, but Kim doesn't. She has some problem matchups, but he also has Arbiter, who's a completely different character. Which it's so funny. Sometimes when you see somebody play a character, it's oh, it makes sense. Oh, okay, he plays this character and that character. Arbiter and Kim may be the 2 most different characters in the game. They're extremely weird. They're neutral heavy, right? But they operate completely differently. And this guy, I think his highest offline placement was 2nd at Combo Breaker. Yeah. I believe he got 2nd at Combo Breaker. And when LCD had the Revival tournament, if I'm not mistaken, he won that, right?
Yep.
He won
Yeah.
that in grand finals against Hologram, who a lot of people consider to be the best KI player right now. But
Yeah.
that's obviously still up for debate. But Sonic Dolphin, he ran through that whole revival tournament, and that was like a Capcom Cup, like in terms of like skill. Like there's just all top players in that tournament, and he just beat everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Alright. Devil.
He definitely has increased
on
as a
Sonic?
player. He's definitely when I made top 8 at Combo Breaker 2018, he's the one that put me in losers during the bracket, and man, he was so deadly. Then when we got on stage, or rather when he got on stage, it was a beautiful thing to watch him get so like high up there and play against the best players and just improve so well. Like I never seen him like such a leap in skill from where he was prior to where he was on that stage at that tournament. It was amazing. He's one of the best players out right now, and I feel like personally, I feel like Sonic Dolphin is one of those players that can beat the scariest players, like which is like Hologram and Chronicle and Nikki and stuff. Like he's one of those players that can do the things that not many of us can do.
he could literally beat anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Alright, so on to the last captain. Last but not least is Mr. Trevor, aka Illusions. Top tier Cinder player. Really good friend of mine. Always coasting around top 8. Really top notch Cinder though. What you guys thoughts on Trevor?
Trevor, yeah, Trevor's another player who got really strong.
Actually, he
And I
bodied
mean,
me as CEO in like 2018 to make top 8.
Yeah.
I was actually salty. I
No,
forgot about that.
Trevor's nasty, dude. Like he's come a long way as well. Like when I first started playing with him, like again, just really not good, really bad Cinder, really just whatever, very okay, yeah. But then like he just kept playing, he kept grinding, he kept losing over and over and over. And I will say like pretty much, I mean, he really doesn't play anybody else. And I think that's what's like remarkable about him. I think he really plays like Shadow Jago, but I would go ahead and classify him as a Cinder loyalist. I wouldn't say that he plays anybody else.
He plays Rash a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, he started. Oh, that you're right. That's actually true. He did start playing Rash recently. His Rash is like super new. I don't know if we'll see Rash today out of him. We'll see. But for the most part, I mean, he's been sticking it out with Cinder, and Cinder is a super strong character. But that's not an easy character to stick out every matchup playing Cinder. That's very difficult because he does have his own problem matchups as strong as he is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be really scary to see him play in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Trevor definitely had issues first when he first started playing and becoming a competitor, but over time he stuck with it and really became one of the best Cinders. People consider him the best Cinders. I don't argue that. He's just an amazing player, and he's getting stronger and stronger every month. So let's see how he does today.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I can't wait to get into this.
All right.
Alright, so with that being said, I'm sure you guys are wondering, well, who's on these teams with these captains? And we have a nice trailer that we worked on that I'm super proud of that we'll run for you guys right now, just so you can see a full overview of what's about to go down. So,
Okay.
Deb,
I'm going to go ahead and run it now, guys, to see it. Give me 1 second to mute this music. And we will run it now. Let's do it.
A nation of domination. Not challenge us. Children of the corner. Battle Bros. The Elementals. cleansing flames. Those are us. Two and a half men.
Well.
Alright, so before
Well.
I want to give a shout out to everybody that helped out with that song. It was written by myself, Nikki, and our friend Gade, aka Sharkface Killer. And then all the people that supplied the vocals for that were actually from the community. It was myself, Thrash Heavy, The Flash, Nikki.
Flash.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
That's
Hell yeah.
awesome. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
And I'm super proud of that. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Community made from
Oh,
start
Keith
to
did too. Don't forget about Keith.
Yeah, and Keith supplied all the video content and all the graphics that you guys are seeing today.
Yeah,
Keith
Keith
is
is
ridiculous.
a huge part of this.
Like,
Huge
huge.
part. Everything you see graphic-wise and the
Yeah.
videos, the trailers and stuff is all Keith.
Yeah, Keith did everything in terms of like the logo and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
shout outs to everyone who
So-
supported.
Right now, I think we'll just do a quick breakdown or a quick run through each team, as you saw in the trailer. So we have Nikki, Latalis, LCD, super strong team, well-rounded. Fulgor, big bodies, Orchid, Shago. I mean, LCD can play whoever. Quick thoughts on that. We're just gonna do a quick run through.
Yeah, just quick.
Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
This team is extremely horrifying. You have Nikki, you have Latalis, you have LCD. Like every single one of the players on this team has proven themselves in an offline tournament, and each one of them plays a pretty scary character. I know that LCD plays like Orchid, he plays Maya, you know, he plays Gargos too. Latalis has a ton of characters, but I'm gonna highlight by just saying he plays Aghanos, and Aghanos is super cheap. And every time I look at what Latalis is doing with that character, I'm like, this character is cheaper than I thought. Nikki, which we already talked about earlier, like that's a recipe for disaster right there. That team is
Yeah.
that team is messed up, dude.
All right,
Yeah, I
all
agree.
right. Next up, the Elementals, headed up by Trevor, followed up by the #1 player online, or player period, Hologram, and then Skate Fast, top tier Glacius that's kind of popped up online recently. Quick thoughts on that?
Yeah, like we talked about Trevor earlier, but you know, you have Hologram. Like Hologram is an extremely scary Thunder player.
Best Thunder.
He's horrifying. Best Thunder, definitely. And Skatefast is kind of like, he's definitely an out of nowhere type player who's extremely horrifying. He's been putting in work in a lot of online tournaments. And his Glacius is really strong. He's like a KI Discord head, but he's proven himself, man. That guy is a problem.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Toes RS, which is Chronicles team, follow up with Sleep and Truth. Truth is definitely an unknown as far as the offline scene goes, but online he's kind of infamous for being everyone's #1 training partner and the most threatening person that nobody knows about.
I agree. It's definitely the guy I go to when, Truth, I'm about to go in a tournament and I don't know what to do. He's like, don't worry, bro. Send me the invite. Next thing I know, I'm a better player all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Chronicle and Sleep, like people already know about both of them, but Truth is that guy. Like I think Truth has to be like, he has to be between like Hologram, Skate, and him, Crazy Skate Nate, that is, and himself. They're just like the strongest players who either didn't travel at all or just didn't travel that much. Like Truth is like he's godlike, and he trains with Sleep all the time. Like you guys are about to see today
Oh yeah. All
how
right.
godlike he is.
Next up, what do we got? It is the Cleansing Flames, Sonic Dolphins team, teaming up with Hayam Keith, who is, I will say, is the best Rifter right now, and Raven Israel, who is infamously one of the top 2 Spinos, and one of the hardest people, the most stressful people to play against. Period.
Yeah, he's scary. He definitely like knows how to get into your head and dominate the pace of the game and put you in this position where you're playing his game, and when you try to like force yourself out, he's like, nope. He slaps your wrist. Get back in my pace. Who do you think you are? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think Sonic Dolphin we talked about, but Keith is another player who's leveled up a ton, and he plays Riptor. And for those of you guys that don't know, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care who I'm on commentary with, Riptor is cheap. Okay, that character's cheap. I'm not. We don't have time to argue about it, so I'm gonna get away with it. Riptor's cheap. She's cheap. She's stupid and cheap.
Yeah, she's not talked about enough. She gets way too much.
You're stupid.
And she's stupid. And also,
autocorrect backdash.
Yeah, and Raven is really he's an insane player. He plays Spinal. He also plays Wolf. His Wolf is really good, and his Jago is really good too. He's like, I don't think that there's a player who's like as psychological playing KI as Raven is. Like, Raven really knows how to get in your head. Like, I can't wait to watch him play today. I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Battle Bros, which is Aphex, Z-Train over 9,000, and Battleaxe. And of course, everybody knows Battleaxe, but Z-Train I feel is a little bit more unknown. You guys want to touch up on that?
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying before, we all know Valarax, no introduction really needed, but he's a combo breaker champion. You got to throw that in there. He's a combo breaker champion. Z-Train is another player. I think he just recently joined Hollywood, but he's just one of those other players who just got so good. Like, his Maya is super strong, and I think when it comes to like best defensive KI players, like best blocks and stuff like that, I would say Z-Train. Like, he blocks a lot from my experience with playing him. Like, his defense is strong, his neutral's strong, and he has a good character variety. I know that he probably plays more characters that I'm not aware of, but I kind of cite him for playing Maya and Wolf mostly. Yeah. So yeah, he's scary.
Next up, we have Not Challenge Us, which is Calypso's team, who he picked up Alvaro Gold and Taizo. Now, I've heard about Alvaro Gold.
I'll tell you about Alvaro Gold. This
This
guy is an idol player like I've never seen. Idol gets a bad rep for being kind of a character who is brain dead, and anyone could play them, and he's just ridiculous. You know, he has the best instinct, but Alvaro is an actually intelligent and amazingly skilled player. He has optimals, he has anti-airs, he has fundamentals. He's amazing. One thing about Alvaro is you kind of don't know who he is because he doesn't play in these tournaments very much, but he's in the community all the time. He's very supportive, very positive, player. He doesn't really talk smack about anyone, but when you play against his character, against him in a match, it's like he hates you. It's like
he's mad belligerent. Like, as smart and as like fundamentally solid he is, he also has a really good balance, like where he's just very disrespectful.
Yeah, you gotta know how to be like. You gotta know when to switch it. You know what I mean? Hit the switch.
Yeah.
Alvaro's awesome. He's a great player and a great person.
Of course, we have Taizo, who's top 3 Cinders.
Real quick.
And Valor.
The team name is Not Challenge Us, and the lore, I can't go into it, but Alvaro pretty much told a player who thought they were better than him, if you not ready to play me, not challenge me. So now their team name is Not Challenge Us.
Yeah, it's a godlike team name.
Yeah,
but Taizo, like, I think Taizo is like, you want to talk about underrated players or players who just don't get talked about enough. Like, I think people are quick to just not mention Taizo, or like they forget about him. Dude, Taizo is like really nasty, and he's been playing. I don't think that he stopped playing. He just always been playing. He's always been entering online stuff. I know that I met him at the World Cup, but he's from Canada, so I don't think that he went to like a lot of like tournaments in the US. Dude, Taizo is like really, really good. He's a really good player, and I can't wait to see him play today. It's always a pleasure watching him play, for real.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, next up we have 2.5 Man, which is Wheels, Jason, and Undead Gamer. Quick touch.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Wheels. Freaky Jason, he has a horrifying his Conrad.
Best Conrad.
His Conrad is a problem. It's scary. He makes the character look way better than he is. And then you have Undead Gamer. Like, Undead Gamer main Sasako. He plays Arbiter. He plays Wolf. Like,
Arya.
He's another player who has a ton of characters under his belt, and he was a last-minute switch-in for this team due to like some unforeseen circumstances. But Undead Gamer, he's really strong, and I think that he's kind of like been in the shadows. I want to see him perform in a tournament like really bad. I think, you know, it's his time. We'll see. The 3v3, I think he's gonna do some work. It's nasty.
All right, and we'll get on to the last one real quick. We have Base's team, which is Base, Crazy Skate Nate, and Water Horses.
Born in the
Crazy
corner.
Skate Nate
That team is broken.
literally
in the
just
corner.
a combo monster and posts quite a bit of content and is always supporting the community. So a quick touch on that. Children of the Corner.
Yeah, this team is like really broken. Like honestly, I feel like there should have been some rule about putting these three together because this is like scary. Honestly, like you have Base, we touched on earlier. Nate falls into that category of like truth. But the thing is, like the first time that Nate traveled offline to a major, which a lot of people don't know because I was at that major, was at TFC. He made top 3, and it was his first like offline major for KI. Like he just made top 3, like bam, instantly.
All right, guys.
He's disgusting. And then you have Water Horses. Like Water Horses, as you guys know, I think he made top 8 twice at the KI World Cup. At his first tournament, he upset, which was KI World Cup 2017. He beat Base, which was the #1 seed. He just completely upset and beat Base. Like made it out of LCQ. Like he's disgusting, man. Like everybody knows. Everybody already knows Water Horses is a problem.
All right. Should we do quick interviews with the captains? What do you think, Devil?
No, we don't have time for that right now. I actually wanted to go into our picks, and also if you can find out the names or the first team players to play.
I already messaged you.
Okay, cool.
It's done, my guy.
Awesome. Anyway, guys.
All right, we'll get into our final predictions right now. So go ahead and put it up on the screen, and we'll just go over that. Unfortunately, no time for captain interviews, but we'll have plenty of interviews after matches. Trust.
All right, guys. So, Frank, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal your first pick, your pick for the team that you think is gonna win this, or has the highest chance of winning. Boom. Charbok's pick is the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a team out of the teams that we're looking at today. Like that's not easy to do. I mean, like I could go on forever about how strong these players are. I mean, I love this game, and talking about its players is a pastime for me. Like I love talking about the players that play this game. But this team is this team's broke, bro. You got Latalis, Nikki, and LCD. Like there are a lot of players in this tournament that I know are strong players, but there are few teams that are stacked with this many players who have proven themselves offline at like insane scales, like grand finals type things. Like Latalis won like a gigantic beatdown one time. He's in top 8 all the time. He was in top 8 with like Aganos and General Ram. He paved the way for Aganos in general. Like Nikki did that with Fogor. He's won multiple majors offline. LCD is like he's LCD, man. He places everywhere. I don't think he doesn't miss top 8s. That's just not a thing he does. He just doesn't miss top 8s. Like, he's nasty.
Okay.
Like that team is my favorite to win the whole thing.
All right.
I'm gonna reveal yours, Fiyah Liger.
All right.
Fiyah Liger's team is Toes R Us.
All right. So I sat on this for the past 3 days. Honestly, my original pick was Battle Bros, but like I've been mulling over this for a long time because I feel like no matter what I do, I'm gonna be wrong anyways. But because of the way that Chronicle plays, it's too hard to pick against him. And with the money on the line, Sleep always shows up for that. And the fact that Truth is so unknown, people aren't going to be ready for him if they haven't played with him. And that's why I kind of went with this pick. Super solid team all around. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm super curious to see it.
I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong because like I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's hard to think of any match in this tournament as an upset because everybody is nasty. Like what is Sonic Dolphin going to upset like Crazy Skate Nate? Like they're you know what I mean? They're all disgusting. Like everybody is gross. Like they're all ridiculous players. Like this tournament, like there's gonna be a really strong team, which I think is every team. One of those teams is gonna get knocked out the first match.
Yeah, half the team.
Two of them are actually. Like they're
four teams.
There's gonna be some hearts broken today, bro.
Yeah, like I legit could have picked 4 teams, but it is what it is. Go ahead, Devin.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and show off the team I think has the highest chance of winning, and that's the Children of the Corner. The reason for this is because, like earlier we mentioned, Base has a plethora of characters at the highest of levels. Crazy Skate Nate has a plethora of characters at the highest level. And
Omen.
And Omen. And Water Horses is one of those players who will just beat the fuck out of you and say, GG's, bro.
Yeah, that was very easy.
That was very
Skin of his
easy.
teeth.
Yeah. Thanks for
Very
the
easy.
Timo, as he would say.
Easy Yapparach, dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. These guys are like the best in my opinion right now in terms of like team synergy. They have so much synergy, and they could just if they could converse with each other about who they should bring out. I feel like there's no one who could stop them personally.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up the pre-show. We're gonna go ahead and get the lobby set up. Go ahead and do a short little 5-minute break, and then as soon as we come back, it's all KI, and you guys are about to witness some massacres.
all right, guys, we'll be right back. Okay.